do apologise about the quality. I'm still getting used to this camera, so if some of the clips are a little bit off, we'll try and work on that. But again, when I don't have anybody filming, sometimes the autofocus does go a little bit all over the place, but we are working on that for you. So video sorted for the day and sent off to the coach. I was using this tripod here and thankfully it withheld the test of time. Last night I was doing some cleaning up and ended up breaking this tripod, and thankfully the camera or the phone held up on it. The big test will be whether or not the camera that I'm filming on right now will be able to hold up against this. So what I'll do is I'll swap these around now to show you, hopefully, that it will last, but only time will tell. This is the second one I have had of these. The first time wasn't my fault that it broke, but last night it was. So in case it does break, I'm going to have to look at getting a new one. So any recommendations of tripods, if you could stick them down in the comments, that would be greatly appreciated. So as you can see, there's a wee bit of glue down here, and I hope that that's going to sort this problem out. Hopefully it doesn't get any worse than that. Otherwise, this tripod is going to definitely need fixed in the long run. Alright, so time to head up the gym. I actually left my laptop in work and I have a couple of meetings to deal with before we go and get the equipment today. So I'm having to leave about an hour earlier than what I wanted to be, which isn't too bad. But fingers crossed I can find my spanners before I go out here, because if I don't have them, I think we might be in a bit of an issue for building some equipment today. Meetings are done now and we're just waiting on the van coming to pick up the equipment. I have to tell you, see some of the people that you speak to when phoning them up from the ads, it's actually quite crazy that some people just don't have a clue or actually have any respect for you. But that's another story for itself. So wait on the van now, got some food with me, calls are done, just need to wait on a few more bits and pieces coming, and then we'll be able to get ourselves down the road and get this equipment built today. Then I'll show you the other wee bits and pieces that we've done to the gym to make it better. So as you can see, we have the new equipment in. I've got myself a Rainstorm here. So we're gonna unbox everything, get through it, and then I'll probably throw a time lapse on. So I'll swap over to the iPhone just so that we can do that then. But I'm gonna say it's gonna probably take the next couple of hours anyway. So yeah, let's get into this. So after about 2.5 hours, we finally have our rig up and running. Thankfully, we can start using it for classes tomorrow, which is fantastic. It took us long enough, but we're finally there, which is the main thing. So
yep, absolutely mangled, to be honest.
yeah, that was bad. Well worth a pint tonight, as we'd say if we were drinking, but we'll save that for a couple of weeks' time anyway. Well, that was exhausting to say the least. That was a long 3 hours of getting the equipment up. I'm now home, ready for some food. So I've got that in the air fryer at the moment. It's going to be some turkey burgers, rice and veg. I'm going to sleep so well tonight. I've been sleeping for about 9 hours every night. and this is only going to be my third meal of the day. And honestly, with it being 9 o'clock at night, I don't think I'm going to be eating much more after this. I'll need to get myself to bed soon anyway, because we're up at 5:30 in the morning for more clients. I can't wait to try the cables out properly tomorrow and show you guys, as well as actually showing you the other bit of equipment that we got in the gym that I haven't even shown you yet. Currently 5:55 in the morning, waiting to get started for the day. It is Wednesday the next day, so I can't wait until clients are finished today to actually try the cables out myself, as I was saying to you last night. And you'll be able to see from above me that we have so much extra light now. So the fact that I'm getting excited about getting lights up in a gym just shows I'm starting to get old nowadays. So it's nothing too exciting, but this light here, which I hope doesn't actually get affected by the camera, but it's a 100-watt UFO light, so it lights up the place massively. What I am going to do is I'm going to switch the light off and show you what the place used to look like and what it looks like now with the light on as well. So this is what the gym used to look like before the lights, and this is what it looked like after. So I've used these cables briefly yesterday just after checking them, but they do feel great to use and they feel smooth, which in a lot of gyms you don't always feel. So yeah, let's just say these cables are going to come in very handy over the next few months. All right, so I'm looking at the photos here now of myself from yesterday. I'm going to have to say I'm happy with some of the shots, but not happy with all the shots. And for me, it's just about getting the body fat off me so that I can get into a better position. Now, if I look at this first picture here, we can see that there's more definition coming through the legs from before, and we can see the upper abs now really starting to show through. And we can also see the lats coming through, which is a lot more. But if I actually look here, I look a wee bit lopsided on the shoulders, so I might need a bit of work on that going forward, but hopefully it's nothing too serious. But again, for myself, I'm someone that holds a lot of fat around the sides and my lower back as well. So when we go on to the back shot here, we can actually see that the fat is rolling over the back of my boxers. But as well as that, we can see down the back of the legs that the hamstrings are still holding a load of fat. Now, there is a lot of progress I'm hoping to see anyway. But when we look at my shoulders again, we can see that issue being up a little bit higher than what we would want. And on top of that as well, we can then see a bit of more back development as well. But the shoulders do look a wee bit more capped, which is brilliant to see. Then when we're moving on to our front double, we can see that the biceps have good fullness in them and the triceps are starting to drop down a bit more, which is fantastic because that's the main thing that we want. We want to make sure that we're getting a good bit of definition in the arms, and that's somewhere that we're looking to bring up. And again, with the quads being flexed now, we can actually start to see more striations coming through and deeper cuts within the legs, which is fantastic to see. Then when we go on to our back double, again, we can see a lot of the fat around the legs, but now with the quad starting to come through at the front and a bit more definition on the upper back. But again, the lower back doesn't really have anything right now. However, I can start to see the top of the Christmas tree starting to come through. So obviously when we drop a bit more body fat, that will help us out massively. But again, it's just about getting this fat off whatever way necessary. Then when we go on to our most muscular, again, trying to get the abs through and showing the chest as best as possible. But I'm really happy with the shot due to the fact that I can see a really decent amount of my quad coming through the different levels that we've got. And then again, the shoulders aren't the best, but again, they're starting to come through a bit more. And we can also see on my left arm there, the tricep starting to pop out at the side a bit more, which is great to see because obviously with all the muscle that I've been trying to put on in my arms over the last number of months, it's finally good to start seeing some progress. And finally then we have our side chest, and I was really happy with this due to the fact of the fullness of my chest. And when we look at the bicep, tricep and delt all in one here, we can start to see some cuts coming through on the delt, which is great because it's going to make the biceps look a bit bigger. But overall, we can even see on the side here that there's just good definition through the quad somewhat again, and then the calf we can start to see some striations coming through down into the heel as well. But we have work to do, but we can definitely start to see some changes, which is fantastic. Now we can see this fat sitting over the side of my waistband here again, so we do have work to do, but it's now good to see that I'm getting to a point that I can be somewhat happy with. But again, the goal is to look lean so that we can bulk up, but the main goal is to stay lean while bulking up, to put on as much muscle as possible. And I'm kind of stuck in the cycle of lifting similar weights for similar reps, just because I'm not being able to bulk and due to the fact of where I'm at. With all being well, we can hopefully get this body fat off in the next 5 weeks or so. And if we can do that, then that's going to make a massive difference going forward.